You're listening to Behind the Bulldogs, brought to you by Ferris State Athletics.
Off the left side, to the end zone! Touchdown, Bulldogs!
If I'm even having like a bad day on the course or something, I just look down at it and just feel like thankful that I'm able to be out there.
Making sure that we're like where our feet are and we're not thinking about outside distractions.
It's another edition of Behind the Bulldogs. Hello, everybody. Brandon Worth, Tatum Outlaw with you. We're so glad that you have tuned in for another great episode of Behind the Bulldogs presented by Dazos Digital. We got great interview for you today. We got a lot to recap, and we got a lot to preview coming up this weekend. If you are in Big Rapids and your home sports team, all but two are going to be in town, so excuses pretty much not granted. You got to be here at this point. We'll preview all what's coming on here this weekend at the end of the show, but we got a lot to recap as well. Basketball is in full swing. You guys are nearing the postseason. Yes. Soccer is nearing the postseason. Football is getting closer. Cross country is in the thick of it. So pretty much we're getting into that full transition mode now where it's getting into winter from fall. But, you know, it's a blessing and a curse as far as from an operations standpoint. All hands on deck for these because our teams are so good. We go to the postseason and we keep on those sports while the other ones start. It's kind of a pain, but it's a blessing in disguise because the teams are so successful at the end of the day. And that's one of the main reasons why everybody comes to Ferris State and wants to be a Bulldog. All the teams win.
Yeah, I was just going to say it's that crazy transitional period for all the sports. And then there's going to be that point where like everyone's fully in season at one time because there's so many teams that are making appearances in postseason. And there's so many teams that are just starting their season. It's crazy and it's hectic, but it's so much fun. So
absolutely. Yeah. Pure pandemonium, basically, exactly. At the end of the day. So we'll cover what's coming up this weekend at the end of the show. But first, we'll recap what has happened. Soccer was in action on Thursday against Saginaw Valley State. Not the best performance, 4-1 setback for Coach Henson's team. Just really didn't feel like really anything was clicking right out of the get-go. Saginaw's a team that, if they put it together, they can be really deadly as far as an offensive attack, and we saw what they can do. But they bounced back in a really big way, a 7-0 win against Roosevelt. Talked to a lot of the ladies after the game, and it was just pure joy. Yes, we put it together. We dominated for 90 minutes. A lot of first-time goal scorers on the season, 4 in the first half. And so I'm sure that the ladies soccer team, it's exactly what they needed going into the last half of the slate. It's going to be a tough road, especially trying to get a better seed going to the GLIAC tournament, but I think they're pretty pleased on how that game, in the response from Sunday as opposed to Thursday's loss, got to be happy with the way they played on Sunday. Yeah, they definitely needed that. I mean, they absolutely dominated on Sunday, and it was cool to see so many new people scoring, and I'm just really happy for them. Absolutely. And also in action was the volleyball team, just getting dubs. Nothing new, nothing different. When it comes to the way you guys played, though, against the Lakers, obviously 4 sets against Wayne State. They're always stingy. They've seemed to always play stingy, no matter if it's in Detroit or here in Big Rapids. But the way you guys played against Grand Valley, I don't think people really realize how well you played. Because Grand Valley's a top 12 team in the country, and you got them in straight sets in a rivalry game. They had revenge on their mind from that first loss in the Fieldhouse. I mean, you guys just had everything going. Special teams, defense, offense. It just feels like everything for you guys is just clicking right now on all cylinders. Yeah, I mean, there's so much going on, and obviously, we are doing all these cool things, but we really just try to stay focused on, following our game plan for each game and just, respecting all, fear none. But obviously, we know that this is an important game. We know that we hear the chirping, we hear the outside voices. We just went in with a game plan and really stuck with it. And honestly, all the strategy to the side, one of our main goals was just to play hard, and that's exactly what we did. We never want to be the team that doesn't play with heart, So we just left it all out on the court. And it was, GV is a great team, so it was cool that we were not only able to beat them again, but sweep them. I think that's a cool accomplishment. Absolutely. If you want to be the top-rated team in the country, just play hard. Yeah, just play hard. That's all I got to do. That's all I got to do. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Also, number 1 in the country. Not only you guys, but football as well. Dominant win over the weekend as well. Especially against Northern Michigan. It started off slow. Mm-hmm. We weren't necessarily like overly concerned, but a little bit sluggish. Getting over the bridge can sometimes it takes some time to get going, and then they finally got it going, especially in the second quarter. So really impressive stuff from Coach Anissa's team, and obviously this is going to be a really fun home stretch coming up for this crew. A really good Saginaw Valley defense is coming into town, as well as they're going to play the first edition of the Calder Classic against the Davenport Panthers in the rivalry series as that begins at Top Taggart. And not only that, they're going to have some things going on here this weekend as well with the roundup as well, selling some alcohol at the games. That's going to be something that's going to be on deck. So
stay safe.
Yes, please stay safe and please be responsible. But there's going to be a lot of people in town for those games, and not only that, for all the others as well. It's just great because when football wins and volleyball wins and soccer wins, it just brings all those fans together, and then they go from one to the other to the other. It just helps everybody. Everybody wins at the end of the day.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like our fan environment has just grown, and I feel like I see people all around campus, and they're just like, oh, hey, we were at your game the other day, and I just love stuff like that. But as for football, I think they've had some tough games that they've won, but they've also had a lot of teams that they've really just dominated over. So their games are only going to get harder from this point on. So I hope that they can just keep working hard, staying focused, and then just keep winning.
Absolutely. Hockey against Bowling Green down there at the Slater Ice Center. Really tough fought games from Coach Daniel's teams. Unfortunately, on the losing end of both 2-0 and then 5-4. What a heartbreaker that one. It was a heck of a game. They're from that group really able to battle back. But this team's showing spurts. They really played one of their best games. You could argue, out as far as all of their losses go, their best game in a loss was in that Saturday game against Bowling Green. So they're going to get back on track for sure. They're going to be in action this weekend against a good Michigan Tech team, and we'll see them here in the building. But I think especially it's a young group that you still got to give it time. I know that's kind of a cliche to like, oh yeah, it's a new team. You got to give them time. It's chemistry. Chemistry is so important. Look at your guys' team. You guys have played together for how many years? Yeah. And now it's finally all clicked together. These guys have only played a month of college hockey together, so they need that time too.
Oh yeah, for sure. And everyone makes comments about our team culture, our success, this and that, but this has been years in the making. So they've got a good group of guys. They can totally get to that point. They just need some time, and they're getting close with some of their games. So that's good fuel to know for the next one.
Absolutely. And finally, basketball in action as well over the weekend. The men starting off with a split. They lose to West Texas A&M. That's a team that kind of sounds familiar, right? That was a team that the women's played in the Final Four.
It's almost like we were also there.
Whoa, no way. Yeah. They lost to them 79-65, but they get a bounce back there against Pembroke. It was a dominant performance from them, especially in the first half. They won that one by 22, I believe, in the final margin. And so ranked team in the top 25, taking on good competition. Start off with a split, kind of working the kinks out especially, but especially going back to that exhibition against Michigan State. This team showed they got some stuff. They got some studs, and they got some potential if they can just rack it all together with that, with the style of play, kind of mold in. They have freak athleticism, getting into that run and gun, that transition, that fluidity on offense and defense. This is going to be a really fun team to watch this year on the men's side.
No, I agree. It's very different look of the team, but you want to learn some of your bigger lessons earlier in the season, and there's no doubt in my mind that they're not going to learn from those, and they'll be better from this. So
absolutely. Yeah. And speaking of top-ranked matchups on the women's side as well, number 15 taking on number 13. The Gorillas of Pitt State seem to always run into those guys, and they're good at every sport basically they throw at you. Got the win by 10, 74-64 in the opening night. A little bit of a struggle there in Missouri, especially facing a really good Central Missouri team. I know Coach Westendorf, a lot of the players they want that one back. They know they could win that game, losing there by 8, but I think it goes the same way, right? It's a new group, obviously, maybe a couple more as far as people staying from last year's team. You still got a lot of that core built together, and so really just patching those holes as far as being able to be, a little bit better in assist to turnover ratio, being able to box out a little bit better. Those things just take time as the season goes on.
For sure. They have two crucial players that are not a part of the program anymore, but I know Mal is still there helping the team out.
Shout out to Mal.
Yeah, they're in good hands. They'll be fine.
Absolutely. So that's a wrap-up of what we've had over the past week. We got a lot to get to preview for this weekend. So as we said, if you're in town and you don't show up, shame on you. No, I'm just kidding. But please be there because we need a lot of people for the roundup. It's going to be fun. But without further ado, Melanea and Jesse are standing by, and we got a great interview with them. I'm really excited about it.
Yep.
Absolutely. So we'll see you in the interview room with Melanea and Jesse of Women's Cross Country. Now joining us here in the interview room, we got a pair of women's cross-country athletes here joining us on the show. Melanea Strauss, Jessica Durkee. Ladies, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely, and obviously very exciting time. We got the postseason regionals, obviously GLIAC's under your belt, postseason regional coming up here on Saturday. Just talk about where the team's at and the excitement here for NCAA regional competition.
Yeah, I feel like the team is in a really good place. We're all super excited just to see what we can do. I feel like on the girls' side, we definitely had really great performances at GLIAC's, and we just want to continue that momentum into regionals. And yeah, I feel like we're all very fit, ready to go, and looking for more. So excited to see what we can do on a fast course and just be all together for one last race. So
yeah, for sure. You know, we have 3 girls now in the top 10 all time just from this season and last. So all 3 of those girls are on the team right now. Whitney Farrell, Hannah Brock, very consistent. They're always our top 2, and then we've got a nice good group. It's pretty solid, just like kind of supporting Cass, following up right behind them, trying to run together.
Absolutely, and especially very unique meet. Last time you guys were on the competitive surface, running a GLIAC at home, something that I know you guys are really excited about. Just talk about that experience, you know, having family and friends around that you have had in the community, as well as just all the support in a championship mindset, let alone just a little invitational at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, that was really special. Obviously, like, everybody's family was there for the most part, so like that was really sweet, because normally when we're out of state, or not out of state, but I guess traveling further, like last year to Houghton and stuff, it's harder to get everybody to come up. But also having the community around us was really neat as well, and like the whole track team, and yeah, it was just really neat. And I'm glad that this is my last semester here at Ferris, so to be able to kind of end on that note and run at home was really, really special. So I'm glad we got that opportunity.
Absolutely.
And we had the good experience coming in running Bulldog each year, whereas a lot of other GLIAC teams don't necessarily have that. So we're familiar with the course. We liked the course. It was good weather. It was a good day.
Absolutely. I don't know what it is. It feels like the teams feel we're not friendly and they don't come to Bulldog. I don't know why that is, but anyway, maybe they'll come out next year. You know?
Yeah. You mentioned weather. Speaking of the weather, it's getting colder. What conditions do you guys like running in? I personally play an indoor sport, so I like the weather doesn't really affect me, but how does it affect you guys?
Honestly, I'm more of a fan of like the warmer weather. Yeah. I just love like summer training, running in the summer, and then in the fall when it's like 70s, and like I don't know, I just love it. Even for a race, if it's like 65, 70, perfect day for me. I know a lot of people like the cold, so yeah, but for me that's what works best, honestly.
Yeah, nothing beats -5 in Kenosha, right? Anything better than that at this point.
That was crazy.
Right, exactly. So Jesse, how about you?
I like mid-50s maybe, but I also like the weird weather conditions. Like I like running in rain. I liked when it was snowing. It was just like the extra little thing kind of takes my mind off the running, where it's like, oh, it's raining. Like, focus on that.
Yeah.
I feel like I'd be too scared to like fall. Like, I don't know.
That is a possibility.
It has happened before. It's happened before.
Yeah.
For sure. Shout out to Logan Williams if he's watching. I have a really funny video of him falling in cross country, and he asked me to delete it. I never deleted it.
So
anyway.
It does happen. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
My fear isn't crazy. It happens.
You know, it does happen for sure. You just like true cross country weather.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Oh, yeah.
So that's the fun part. Speaking of that, especially a lot of memorable races, a lot of memorable courses, I'm sure, over the compilation of the years you guys have ran. What's kind of a favorite memory? It might be just necessarily a course in general or a specific race that you're like, yeah, I'm going to leave here, never going to forget that moment.
I always really like Evansville, Indiana, running regionals there, or Louisville, Kentucky. That's always super flat and fast course and like a lot of good competition. So it's always a lot of fun there, and I feel like I have a lot of good memories like with family being there and stuff too, and yeah, running some fast times with teammates and stuff. So those are definitely my favorites for sure.
Absolutely. The bluegrass is fast. Bluegrass is always fast. Jesse, how about you?
Yeah, I love Lewis, which is good. That's our regional this year.
Very convenient, very convenient.
I just like the course is really good. There's one big hill. It's right at the beginning, so you get it out of the way. It just seems to be a good team environment, too. Everyone's really hyped up about it when we get there.
Absolutely. And it's not too far away either. It's far away, but it's easy travel as far as fans and coming out. So, and it's always a good meet as well. When it comes to the team dynamic, obviously a lot of memories you've made with a lot of different people that have come in the program as well as left the program throughout your guys' years. When it comes to the chemistry, feels like the more and more we talk, especially this year, the chemistry on both sides has gotten even greater, especially. I mean, just talk about the relationship that you have with a lot of the younger, the new coming recruits that are coming in, getting their feet wet in the program, as well as just, having that camaraderie for 3-4 years. It's a really special thing for a college athlete.
Yeah, it is really special, and I feel like we definitely build really strong friendships on the team, and it's just really special having so many like-minded people around you that we just all are out here working hard, and we have the same goal. We just want to be successful, and it's just nice having people that care for you, just like on the track and just off the track as well, and just can help you with anything in life, and it's just been really, really special. And obviously, like, coming in as a freshman, I had definitely some great friends, and like they've graduated and stuff, so that was hard, but I feel like every year there's just new people coming in, and it's always just building more relationships, and it's been really sweet.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we talk about it, and everyone always says it's like a whole different team, and it's not like our team has ever been bad. It just keeps on getting better. Like, most of my best friends are on the team, all the junior girls that I came into the team with. We still meet every Sunday and just cut a little bit of time out of our day and have dinner together, even when it gets busy. Like, those are my best friends. And then, like, the upperclassmen, having Daisy and Melanea, especially running with them this year, has been really great because they're great role models. They always get the paces right on, so I like running with them. And then some of our underclassmen, too, like Ella Kowach, she's been a great contribution to this team this year. So it's been great running with them.
Yeah, I feel like team dynamic honestly makes the experience so much better, because at the end of the day, like, no matter how much you're winning and losing, like, the friendships is what you have left. So that's really cool that you guys can benefit from that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's a special part about it. Quick rapid fire. First off, favorite workout that you've ever done that you just crushed, or maybe it's just the type of workout that you're just like, you see down the schedule, you're like, yeah, that's my jam.
Oh, man. This one's a tough one, but for some reason, I do kind of like it. We do dog pound. And
I wondered if somebody was going to say it. There you go.
I don't know. It's special. It's like a really long workout, but I feel like we're all very focused during it, and we're all working together in groups and keeping each other going, and that's the most important thing. And we get through it, and when we're done, we're like, wow, we just did that. And so, yeah, I feel like that's definitely one to look forward to, but it's kind of daunting too sometimes. We're like, oh man, it's on the schedule already.
Yes.
Yeah,
it's called the dog pound for a reason. You got to make it out of the dog pound. So Jesse, how about you?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of dog pound.
There you go.
I'm not as much of a track workout athlete. Like, I like the being on the grass. I really like our 4-mile tempo that we do right at the beginning of the season, just because it kind of gets me like in the it feels like cross country. Like, we get into it, we know like a good time for ourselves. That's where we set our goals, so I like that one.
For sure. Now flip the script. Worst, least favorite workout that you just dread looking for. I know Jesse kind of answered the first one, but how about you, Melanea? What's the one that you're just like, you see it and you're like, yeah, here we go again?
I honestly am not the biggest fan of like speed work on the track, just because I'm just a distance runner. So when I see that, I'm like, oh man, we're gonna be running 400s and stuff, and like it's just more uncomfortable for me. So I guess it's good to just challenge myself and get out there and do it. But yeah, those are definitely more daunting and a little bit scary, but we get them done.
Yeah, absolutely. When it comes especially to why you wanted to really kind of pursue racing, right? Obviously, there's probably something that got you into the sport originally. You know, I want to try this out. You know, had friends do it or family did it in the past. You wanted to try. What was the thing that really got you guys into running individually that eventually would lead you on to decide, you know, I'm going to try this in college and see what happens?
Honestly, I didn't start running until I was a sophomore in high school.
That's crazy.
And I was like, what? Yeah.
I always did competitive dance and travel soccer, so that was like my life since I was like, I don't know, like 6. And so, yeah, that's all I knew. And then people in high school were like, you've got to try cross country. It's so fun. Like, we have such great teams. You're going to make so many friends. And I was like, oh, maybe I'll give it a try. And I did not like running. Like, I was like, oh, man, this is going to be rough. But then got through my first year and I was like, wow, like this is special. This sport is really cool. Just like the team dynamics and just like, I don't know, getting along with like everybody else that you're racing against, it's like so special because everybody's trying to encourage you, build you up. Like even when the race is hard, like people are helping you keep going, and so that was really special. I'd never seen that before in a sport. So yeah, and then just kept going throughout high school, and then I was like, I think I want to continue with this, and so it's been really, really special being here.
That takes a lot of guts. If you said you didn't like running to then join cross country, that takes a lot of guts. But you didn't know then, and now you're here. So
yeah, really grateful to be here. So
yeah, that's awesome. Jesse, how about you? What was your origination story into running?
I was pretty iffy about running in college. I was kind of back and forth the whole time leading up to it. I wasn't sure if I was going to or not. Cross country has always just kind of been like a fun thing for me. I've never taken it that seriously. But as soon as I started here, it kind of completely transformed where it wasn't just me running for myself anymore. It became like a real team thing in my mind, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of how mine was too. Like I had a lot of sports that I could have probably played in college, but for some reason, like cross country always stuck out. It's like, man, you can really like go somewhere when you get that commitment of the people around you, and obviously the chemistry of it is you get the right people around you. That's what makes the sport so great at the end of the day. When it comes to why you chose Ferris State, I'm sure there's probably places, obviously both of you, traveling from a little ways to get up to Big Rapids. There were closer schools nearby in your hometowns. What made you choose to come up to Big Rapids and be a Bulldog?
Well, I wasn't for sure like decided on what I wanted to go to school for, but I was always interested in like something with biology. Like, I don't know, at first I was like, oh, maybe I'll do like environmental engineering, whatever. And then I saw that they had environmental bio here. And so also I was being recruited, and it was really neat to see like coaches seeing potential in me as well. And so kind of just took a leap of faith, and I was like, all right, I think I'm going to try it here. And yeah, it's just been wonderful. Love the coaches here, and just, yeah, love the experience.
Glad you're still here.
Yeah, we're glad that you chose to come here.
Yeah.
For sure. Jesse, how about you?
I was originally a pre-optometry major, so I came here for the MCO at first and the team, but after I switched over, it was just, I really like the school. It's a great environment. I like the campus. The people here are great.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, a lot of optometry students that come to Ferris State, for sure. It's a unique major. Which we'll obviously get to the big question here later. That we'll save that for the end here. But when it comes to your favorite part about being with the team, what is it especially that really sticks out the most kind of memorable thing that you'll pull away from the experience? Maybe on the course or maybe off the course even.
I would just say, like, when looking back, I kind of mentioned this earlier, but I'm just grateful to have people around me that really do care for me and like want the best for me, whether that be in running or outside of running. Like, you know, I feel like they can always tell, you know, if something's not going well for me, like outside of running or in running, like they just know how to like make me feel better and build me up and encourage me. And so I think that's really special, and I'll definitely like look back and be like, oh, these people, you know, really had I don't know, they just really, really care for me, and it's just so special to have that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think you face a unique set of challenges being a student athlete, being so busy. I think the mindset and the skills that you build is definitely going to help me in the real world, just like managing my time and just having a full schedule.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah, I think we can both agree, Tatum, that student athleting, is that a phrase? Student athleting?
Put
it in the dictionary. It is very difficult, and there's a lot of things that can come from it. So, Tatum, you have any last questions?
I guess just, I want to know where you guys are from. I know that sounds silly, but you had said, like, I don't know, I was just thinking about, like, what other schools you guys probably talked to before or while you were finding Ferris, just, like, where you guys are from and how did you get here?
So I'm from the east side of the state, Fenton, Michigan. Okay. I didn't really look at like a ton of schools, but just some other Division II schools like SVSU. I looked at actually Northern Michigan, but not like a ton of places. I don't know. After like talking to coaches here, I was like, okay, this seems like a great fit. So it didn't take me long to like decide, but yeah, so not too far away, like 2.5 hours from Ferris. So
definitely home away from home is how it is here.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm from Middleville, Michigan. It's a little bit below Grand Rapids if you've never heard of it. But yeah, I pretty much just looked at Ferris. I looked at Purdue Northwest really quickly. I couldn't go to Grand Valley. My sister was from there, so I knew the rivalry. Couldn't follow.
She was like, let me stir up the family drama
just a little bit.
Thanksgiving is about to be tense.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, time for the grand finale. The last question we ask everybody that we bring on the show. What is your favorite thing about being here at Ferris State and being a Bulldog?
It's probably said a lot, but just like the friendships, they're so lifelong. My teammates are my roommates. You know, I hang out with them outside of school, outside of practice. We do everything together. We drive places together. It's just, we eat dinner, make food, everything.
Yeah, it's the memories and the friendships that last a lifetime for sure. How about you, Melanea?
I would say similar to Jesse. I definitely feel like the people make the place, and this is definitely always going to be like a special place to me just because of all the friendships I've made, and yeah, it's been really neat.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Well, thank you both for coming on to the show, and we'll wish you the best of luck here on Saturday. Regionals. Hopefully you guys run super fast.
Thank you.
Big thanks to Jesse and Melanea for stopping by. Great interview as always here. I feel like, Tatum, we can't miss.
I know.
You just ever have the feeling we just can't miss with guests?
No, it's just every episode. I can't even pick a favorite. They're just all so good.
They're all so good. So if you miss on an episode, be sure to find wherever you found this episode in the feed. Go and get it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Or if you listen live as well on the radio on the weekends, you can go to WBRN.com as well. We got the full slate for you. And trust, it is a large platter. It is a buffet of great old-fashioned Bulldog athletics. It starts on Thursday. Women's soccer at home against Wisconsin Parkside. The Rangers are in town. That's going to be a 1 o'clock kickoff from over at the Bulldog Soccer Complex across the way from here. So Coach Henson's team will be in action there a Thursday and a Saturday this time instead of a Friday and a Sunday. A little bit of just a little change, just keeping everybody on their toes. That's all it is, you know. I mean, you guys kind of understand it. Yours is, I don't know. I would rather have everything be one day off than just add a random game in the middle of the early part of the week.
Yeah, I think they just decided, let's just throw another game into the mix on Saturday. There's
Sure.
4 home games. Let's just add one more in there.
Let's go 5, you know? 6. You know, it's like, whoa, hold on.
Let's just make it chaotic for everyone.
Yeah, speaking of home games, there's more. Friday, 5 o'clock, women's volleyball against Northern Michigan. That'll be a 5 o'clock first serve. Men's basketball against the Timberwolves of Northwood. That'll be at 7 o'clock over in Wink Arena, just across the hall. And as well, across the hall at Engelgleben Ice Arena, we got the Huskies in town, Michigan Tech. So we're going to need you to show up because Michigan Tech shows up big time.
Yeah, you know, I think you should just start your evening in Bulldog Arena, work your way over to Wink, and then head over to the hockey arena, too.
Yep.
Just all in one night. Bang, bang.
Slow footsteps as the games progress on and get a little bit closer.
Yep,
So
get yourself some snacks in between.
Of course, Bulldog concession stand's always open.
Yes.
And then the gauntlet begins on Saturday. So cross country, as we mentioned, will be on the road. We'll be cheering them on in the morning from Romeoville. As far as their start times, TBD. You can find out more at ferrisstatebulldogs.com, as well as the NCAA Division II Cross Country Regional Championship website, as well as all the great things we got at home. Here we go. Women's soccer at 11 against Purdue Northwest at the Bulldog Soccer Complex, followed by 1 o'clock football against Saginaw Valley State over at Top Taggart Field. Then, senior night, women's volleyball against Saginaw Valley State, not Saginaw Valley State, Michigan Tech. There's a lot of teams, a lot of matchups. Yeah. Give me some grades.
The whole GLIAC is here this week.
Yeah, the whole GLIAC is here. The Huskies will be at 5 o'clock again in volleyball, and then we'll have hockey at 7:07 as well, also against the Huskies in night 2. But wait for it, there's one more. Men's basketball against Lake Erie. The Storm are in town, 7 o'clock from Jim Wake Arena, so we'll have hockey and basketball. I don't know if there's a rule you can go back and forth. I mean, you can pay for tickets and go to both. I mean, you can get the best of both worlds. You know, there's a lot of different ways you can do it. But basically, follow around myself, Brody, Rob. We're just going to be going in circles. And you can follow us to every game, and you can catch all the Bulldogs in action on Saturday. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a great weekend for all the Bulldog fans. So make sure you keep coming out and supporting as teams are hopefully not wrapping up their seasons too soon, but getting towards the postseason. You know, they need some support, and then as well as the teams that are starting off their season like basketball. So
absolutely. And speaking of women's basketball, they will be on the road 3:30 at Drury there on Sunday. They also play against Southwest Baptist, I believe, on Saturday night. That game is on the road, though. You can find out more at ferrisstatebulldogs.com on their schedule to get live stats, so on and so forth. So that'll be on Sunday. And then on Tuesday, women's soccer. Just to keep it on your radar before we record our next episode next week, they will have the GLIAC tournament quarterfinal. And right now, if they finish off the season on the right foot, they can host that first game. So be on the lookout, Ferris FerrisStateBulldogs.com. You can follow FSU WSO on social media for the women's soccer team to find out if they're playing at home on Tuesday. So it might be another opportunity. We won't obviously get the seeding until after this weekend's results conclude. And as well, Wednesday coming up, just a day before we get the podcast out, Ferris State men's basketball hosting the Flyers of Lewis University. It was a dramatic game last year for those that remember. Jack Ammerman's buzzer beater. They're at Lewis. Now they're coming to town, and probably with a little bit of revenge in mind.
Oh, for sure.
You have to think. Yeah, it's going to be great. So that's the full slate. You can find out more at FerrisStateBulldogs.com. I feel like I'm out of breath just reading through that whole thing.
Yeah, that was a mouthful.
Yeah.
It was.
Now we get to work all the games. You don't. I do.
I get to play in the games.
Yes.
He gets to work the games.
So we're going to get the best of both worlds. It's going to be fantastic. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to follow along with the show. And that's a wrap here for episode 9. Be on the lookout for episode 10. Great guests on deck. A great show on deck. And hopefully you haven't been deterred so far. I feel like all the shows have been hits. So you should probably expect a hit next time too.
Yeah, just keep expecting it.
Yeah.
Keep watching. Get your friends watching. We're just gonna keep having great people on.
Right, exactly. Maybe we'll do like a refer a friend program. You can get a shout out or something if you refer a friend to the podcast. We can see the analytics, so we can see if you refer somebody. So big thanks to Dezos Digital. Big thanks to you for being a supporter of the show. And until next time, we'll see you later, everybody.